this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
Work can be a little weird. Cringy training seminars, coworkers who won't stop talking about their plant, forgetting the mute button at an inopportune moment. We have to deal with a lot on any given workday. Sometimes it can feel hard to thrive and move forward in your career. Well, that's where LinkedIn comes in. LinkedIn helps you get ideas and insights from experts in your field, connect with people professionally, grow your network, and access tools designed to help you find the right fit for your next role. Whether you're just getting started, figuring out your next move, or looking to accelerate your career, LinkedIn is built to support you at every stage because LinkedIn is the network that works for you. Visit linkedin.com/know stuff to learn more.
Mom, can I have Lingo Kids? Dad, Lingo Kids, please!
When did we become the Lingo Kids house?
No idea. Last week it was dinosaurs. This week it's...
Lingo Kids!
Why Lingo Kids?
Because it's the best thing ever. We can play games with astronauts, wild animals, and superheroes.
With more than 4,000 interactive games, songs, and shows, Lingo Kids is the #1 entertainment platform for young kids.
So, no dinosaurs?
And dinosaurs! Lingo Kids!
Everything kids love. Download it for free.
Welcome to Stuff You Should Know from HowStuffWorks.com.
Hey, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Josh Clark. There's Charles W. Chuck Bryant. There's Jerry over there. And this is Stuff You Should Know.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's great.
Good.
Good yourself. I found this topic, and I was starting to tell you before how interesting I thought it was. And you should save it.
Yeah, you went, it's awesome. I was like, stop, it's gold.
So now I'm going to say it. It's awesome.
It is.
And landfills, the concept of a landfill, even though it ain't perfect, is pretty neat.
Yeah.
And even though we need to reduce the amount of trash, especially Americans, produce, there is still going to be trash in the world, and it needs to be dealt with. And this is way better than the old days when in like pre-1930 New York City, they would dump their garbage in the ocean. And then between 1930 and...
We still do that, you realize.
Well, New York City doesn't dump it right in the Atlantic Ocean.
No, but a lot of garbage is dumped in the ocean.
Yeah, we talked about the Great Pacific Garbage Patch.
Yeah.
And then between the 1930s and the 1970s, they had what they called dumps, which is a big hole in the ground,
right,
covered in rats and birds, and then you would just dump garbage.
Yeah.
To leach into everything.
Yes, which is messed up.
Yeah.
And the EPA comes along, and I think the 60s, definitely the 70s, and was like, we need to do something better about this. But, so the idea of the landfill was born in about the 60s, I believe.
Well, the first modern sanitary landfill was in 1937 in Fresno.
Okay, that's right. And it's like a national historic place or something.
Yeah,
right?
because it kind of kicked off the whole thing. But it wasn't until the 60s and 70s that they started passing laws saying that, like, every state really needs to start doing the same thing.
Right. And like you said before that, they just dump their trash in a pit, which people have been doing for millennia, at least. Mm-hmm. They were burning their trash also.
Yeah.
And it sounds mind-bogglingly awful. And it is, especially from an environmental standpoint. But they didn't have the trash problem that we have now in the 60s. Since the 1960s, our trash generation, municipal solid waste generation, has doubled. Tripled. And I was like, why is that? What's going on? Apparently, it's the advent of cheap packaging. Before styrofoam packaging, before plastic, before aluminum cans that everybody just threw away.
Everything was wrapped in a T-shirt that you could wear.
Exactly. And like when you weren't carrying around a slab of meat in the T-shirt from the butcher to your house, you wore your T-shirt, so you reused it, right?
No.
But no, you would have maybe like, do you remember when Sam the Butcher brought Alice the meat? Beastie Boys reference?
I was just about to say. Fred Flintstone driving around with 2 feet.
I think bald feet, yeah. Which is, I guess, a really weird way of putting it as barefoot.
Well, that didn't rhyme.
Bald feet. Anyway, he would bring it to her wrapped in like white butcher's paper.
Yeah.
And she would throw it away, and it would really not take up much space of the dump. It would decompose. It wasn't like styrofoam, which lasts for 50,000 years, right?
Yeah.
And so starting about 1960, packaging, especially very non-biodegradable packaging, took off like a rocket.
Yeah, you could still go to the butcher, though, now. I do.
You can.
And you get it in paper, but you go to that big chain grocery store, and it's going to be plastic and styrofoam.
Right. So between 1960 and 1990, our packaging waste increased by 80%. That meant that we had to do something. We had a lot more trash, and we had to take care of this trash in ways that we hadn't before. And so the modern landfill, based on that Fresno model, boomed, and fortunately.
That's right.
But even now, they're finding we went too far in one direction.
Yeah.
Now we need to adjust it, massage it a little bit.
Refine it.
And we're coming up with a new generation of landfills.
That's right. So if you're talking about a landfill, the goal of a landfill is not to compost trash, and a lot of people probably don't know this.
Yeah.
It's not to compost trash such that it breaks down super quickly and biodegrades. It is the opposite of that. It is to keep it as dry as possible.
In an airtight environment.
And just bury it.
Lock it away from the surrounding world.
That's right. And so that's what a landfill is, a sanitary landfill, municipal solid waste, or MSW landfill. They isolate the trash from the environment.
Right.
They don't just dump it on the dirt and let things leach in. And this thus begins the landfill podcast. Because there are a lot of components to that.
Yeah.
But that's the long and short of it.
It's true. And what that's called in the whole idea behind that landfill that was in reaction to
out of sight, out of mind?
That's one.
Yeah.
A dry tomb is the industry lingo for it.
Oh.
It was created in reaction to trash just being allowed to seep into the groundwater.
Sure.
And
methane to just leak out into the air.
Blow up.
Yeah, sure.
Apparently houses that have utility pipes that pass by old landfills, methane will get into those utility pipes and get in, mixed in with the electricity. And when you go to plug in your toaster and it sparks, kaboom!
Really?
Yes. It's a problem with old landfills because they were all idiots with trash up until the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Yeah.
And even still, we have a big problem with trash, but nothing like it was before as far as taking care of it. We're starting to really get a handle on it.
Americans produce 4.6 pounds of trash per day per person.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is you'd think, well, America's probably as bad as it gets. No, the UK is. America's in the middle, roughly,
really?
For trash generation and recovery.
I thought we were the worst.
No, the UK's the worst.
Oh, what are they? How much
they produce
trash?
Per capita, they produce the most. And they also throw away the most. They have the lowest recovery rate. Although it's gone up, I believe. I think they had some sort of national initiative.
Right.
Because it says here that it went up from 31% recovery rate, which is recycling and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
Basically diverting it from the landfill to 50%.
Hey,
so it's actually better than America as far as the resource recovery rate goes. Canada's the worst. I'm sorry. Canada's the worst. Yeah.
That's hard to believe.
I would think so too, but it's true. The standout is Germany. Germany produces way more trash per person than any other country per capita, but they also have the highest recovery rate at almost 80%. 80% of their trash gets diverted from the landfill.
That's amazing, actually.
That's efficient.
What's the American number on that diversion?
It hovers about a third.
30%?
For at least a couple decades now, maybe 3 decades. You could say Americans divert about a third of their trash from the landfill.
You'd like to see that number get better in 3 decades.
For sure.
You know?
And it always hovers around 33, 34%. And it should be a lot better than that.
You know what that sounds like to me? Whoever's in charge of doing that study is just let's just use last year's numbers.
Yeah.
We can all live with that, right?
Yeah.
All right. So if you want a landfill in your municipality, you're going to have to start with a proposal by saying...
You can't just go start one.
Yeah. You got to look around and say, we need a landfill, everybody. So let's do an environmental impact study.
Right.
And let's find an area. Let's find a lot of acreage because I think they use the North Wake County landfill in Raleigh, North Carolina as their go-to example in this article.
That's where How Stuff Works started.
230 acres of land, about 70 acres of which is the actual landfill. So you're going to need a lot of land, and you're going to have to do an environmental impact study to determine a lot of things.
How much land do you have?
Yeah.
If there's enough of it.
Sure.
What type of soil you have, and what bedrock is underneath it.
Very important.
How water flows over the surface of the site.
Yeah, does it flow right down into the river?
Does it percolate right, exactly. And then the impact it's going to have on local wildlife.
Sure.
And if it's an historic site, like an archaeological site.
Yeah, you don't want a landfill on an archaeological site.
What's funny is if you go back and look at the Fresh Kills landfill, which is one of the biggest in the world.
New York, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't even the only one for New York.
It's closed now, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And the guy who created the High Line, James Corner, is creating a park there out of it. Like a massive, massive park.
Interesting.
I think like 3 times the size of Central Park.
Are they calling it Cancer Park?
No, I think they're avoiding that.
Okay.
I don't remember what it's called. I read a really interesting New York Magazine article about it, though.
Yeah.
It really well written and clever, where it's basically like, that's awesome. This guy's got this great vision. And then, but it's a landfill.
Right.
You know?
Sure. At the end of the day, it's still buried garbage.
Exactly.
All right. So when we talked about the bedrock, that's really important because if you have, what you really want to try and prevent when you're building a landfill or operating a landfill is, leakage and seepage.
That was the big thing.
Yeah.
When the EPA came along and started saying like, you can't just bury your trash anywhere. There's groundwater.
Yeah. Dummies.
And like as trash decomposes, it's not just like old Coca-Cola and banana peels. When those things break down and start mixing together, some really horrific stuff like ammonia gets produced, and that gets into the groundwater, and all of a sudden you're drinking ammonia. That's bad for you.
Yeah, it's called leachate is the liquid.
Or garbage juice is another word.
Yeah, that's a better way to say it because that defines it all in one go.
Right, and the whole point of the dry tomb landfill was to do everything you could to prevent this garbage that you're burying from reaching the water table.
Right. So you study that bedrock. If it's too fractured, it's not going to work because it's going to seep into that junk.
No mines, no quarries, because they probably already have broken through the water table before they were abandoned.
That's right. But at the same time, you also need to be able to sink wells in various points. So you can't, the bedrock needs to allow for that as well.
That's right.
Like you're really looking for a specific area. When we talked about the water flow, of course, you don't want it flowing near wetlands or any kind of rivers or streams. That's a no-brainer.
Fresh Kills. Fresh Kills is an old marshland that they just filled the marshes and lakes in with garbage.
What did they name it that? Is that the area or like that's...
Kills is a Dutch word for stream.
Okay. Because I was about to say, that's like the worst name for anything.
Totally.
Unless it was a butcher.
But it really means fresh stream.
Fresh Kills charcuterie.
Fresh stream garbage dump.
Yeah, that makes sense now. What does kill mean?
Stream.
Okay.
Old Dutch word.
Because you've heard of like
Bowery means
fish kill
farm.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes, that would be fish stream.
That makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah. Fresh Kills.
I wondered about that for years.
Now you know. Star.
All right, so local wildlife. They're going to really study that to see what kind of, it can't be in the area of a migratory route for birds,
or like a nesting area, aka a marsh, like Fresh Kills landfill.
That's right. And then once you figured all this out, and they say,
"Oh, wait, you skipped over the historical or archaeological site."
Well, you already mentioned that.
Like Fresh Kills landfill.
Okay.
Apparently, I think it was...
They did it all wrong, huh?
Henry David Thoreau said that arrowheads were the surest crop to dig from the ground at Fresh Kills before it was a landfill. Yeah.
Wow.
So, archaeological site, wetland, and very close to the groundwater that's seeping right into it.
Unbelievable. And I believe there was a large bunny rabbit population that they just dumped it right on top of.
Right.
So once you figured out that this is not Fresh Kills, this is actually a great spot. You're going to get your permits. You're going to raise your money. This one in North Carolina costs about $19 million to build.
Cheap.
That seems a little cheap, but I don't think that one's brand new.
Yeah, that's probably from the 90s.
Yeah. And then you probably have a public vote because you're probably going to be using public dollars, and no one will know that vote takes place, and you're going to get a landfill built.
Exactly.
Boom.
Yep. They just build it in the night.
All right, so let's take a little break here, and we will talk about building that landfill right after this.
We've all had the experience of calling a business and just wanting to talk to a real person. Not an automated voice pretending to be human, an actual person who can listen and understand and offer help.
That's exactly what you can do with Ruby. Ruby is the virtual receptionist company that takes care of your callers when you're unavailable in the middle of something or simply don't want to pick up.
That's right. They can answer, screen, transfer calls. They can take messages, collect payments, book appointments, and more, all while making the people you serve feel special.
And best of all, it can help you be more productive. For example, 9 out of 10 lawyers who use Ruby log more billable hours per day than the national average.
And other professionals like plumbers and technicians win more customers while being able to stay focused on the job. But whatever kind of small business you run, Ruby is built to save you time, earn you more customers or clients, and make meaningful connections with the people you serve.
It's available 24/7, 365 days a year, and 100% based in the U.S. See why more than 15,000 small businesses use Ruby. Visit ruby.com, or better yet, call them at 844-900-RUBY. Work can be a little weird. One minute you're in a meeting that could have been an email. The next you're trying to decode corporate jargon that somehow means nothing. And don't even get us started on the quick sync that turns into a 45-minute deep dive.
Yeah, well, the truth is figuring out your career isn't always straightforward. Whether you're trying to grow, pivot, or just stay relevant, it can feel like you're navigating it all on your own. Well, that's where LinkedIn comes in.
That's right. LinkedIn can help you grow your career, helping you confidently navigate your path with insights, ideas, and inspiration from your professional community. You can stay up to date with the latest trends in your field, connect with people who get it, and discover opportunities tailored to your goals, your experience, and what actually matters to you.
Whether you're looking for something new or just trying to grow where you are, LinkedIn gives you the tools and connections to move forward with confidence. Because LinkedIn is the network that works for you. Visit linkedin.com/knowstuff to learn more.
All right, so you've got your permits, you've got your money raised. It's time to build a landfill.
Yeah, you shouted down the old guy at the Board of Commissioners meeting who objects.
Yeah, Old Man McLean.
Right,
Yeah.
the tree hugger.
Yeah.
Let's recycle all our garbage, crackpot.
So we will list the basic parts of a landfill and then go over them in detail. How's that sound?
It sounds like a bulleted list.
You've got the bottom liner system. You've got the cells. You've got the storm water drainage. And you've got the leachate collection system.
AKA garbage juice.
Methane collection system. And you've got the cap, the covering.
Kaboom.
So,
Actually, that's the opposite of what you want to happen with the cap covering system.
You don't want a kaboom.
So start with the bottom liner, man. Again, this is the original purpose of all landfills that are in use today, unless they're bioreactor, although it's part of it. But this dry tomb landfill, the main part is the bottom liner. So they use a very thick, like sometimes 100 millimeter thick, very sturdy, like polyethylene liner.
Yeah, synthetic plastic.
That they line the whole place with.
Puncture resistant, strong, able to withstand a lot of trash being dumped on it.
And just to be 100% certain, they'll often use some sort of like fabric mat that they'll lay down first and then put the liner on, and then put another mat on top of that to help prevent it from being punctured by rocks or garbage, rocks below or garbage above. Everything's trying to puncture this mat.
Yeah, it's a moisture barrier.
Right, but that liner is the main component, the initial component of the landfill.
That's right. Next we have our cell, and a cell is basically the
day's garbage.
Yeah, it's the day's garbage that you dump in there. You compact it. Airspace is key. That's where the more airspace you have, the more trash you can bury.
Right.
So they want to keep it as compact as possible. And they do this by rolling over it with bulldozers and flatteners and rollers and graders.
Right.
And they smush it down.
And a cell is it's a hole in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently in the North Carolina landfill that House of Works went to back in the day, a cell is 50 feet long, 50 feet wide, 14 feet deep.
Yep.
And all the trash is put in there. Like you said, there's heavy equipment that rolls over and compacts it. And did you read the Atlantic article I sent you about Puente Hills?
Yes.
They said that there's an added benefit of compacting trash. Not just does it take up less space, it also kills about 50% of the rats in there.
Oh, good.
And then, at the end of the day, when the cell is filled, they cover it over with about 6 inches of dirt that they then compact. That kills the other 50% of rats.
Oh, that's where the other half goes.
And that makes that type of landfill what's called a sanitary landfill.
Which means 100% rat-free.
Because they're all dead.
Yes.
They're squished or they're suffocated.
Yes.
By this process of compacting and covering over. And by covering over this stuff every day, you protect it from being blown away by the wind, by being carried away by the rain. You protect it from being dug up by coyotes.
Yeah, or trash scavengers.
Right. And so that's what makes it a sanitary dry tomb landfill, is what we've described so far.
That's right. And to get this thing as compact as possible, they're going to weed out things like that huge roll of carpet that you took out of your 1970s bedroom.
Right.
Or that mattress that has a, brown stained, looks like the map of Asia from the 1600s.
Right, because you raised that one lady from Hellraiser from the dead.
Yeah. So they're going to take out all that stuff and make it, all the yard waste and make it as compactable as possible. And then that is compacted at a rate, depending on where you are, about 1,500 pounds per cubic yard.
Yes.
So boom, flat, dirt is over it now, and now we need to worry about drainage.
Yeah. Basically, once you've created that cell, you've just completed a portion of the landfill, right?
Yes.
For the day.
One day's trash, it's so weird. It's like, here's Tuesday's hole.
Right.
365 days a year.
Yeah. And the Puentes Hills people in that Atlantic article were saying that they, in retrospect, figured out that they could have predicted the economic crisis.
Oh, interesting.
Because about a little less than a year before it happened, they would fill up their day's cell by 1 p.m. and closed. Now they stay open until 5, and it's not even necessarily full. So they noticed a huge downturn in building materials and consumer waste, a year or two before the actual crisis happened, before the collapse.
Well, you know what the old saying, if you want to know the state of the country's economics, go to a landfill.
It's a good thing.
That's what I think Jimmy Carter first said that. So you don't want liquids in that solid waste as much as possible, so they test the solid waste for liquids.
Right.
And if it's not liquid, then it's fine to go in the hole.
Right. So they put that in there. And the other way that they want to keep liquids out, and again, what they're doing is trying to prevent garbage juice from forming.
That's right.
Is to have storm water runoff drainage going on. So first of all, you never want a flat landfill, ever.
Oh, really? Are they out on a little
You want
slant?
to mound it at least slightly. You never want a plateau, right?
That makes sense, yeah.
And so you want the water to run off, and then when it runs off, you want to collect it in the pipes. You want to basically create an eaves system like you have on the roof of your house.
Yeah.
And then shoot it all down to some concrete gulches.
Yeah, or if you
gullies,
have French drains at your house.
Arroyos. Chaparrals.
What else?
Gutters.
Yeah. Haberdasher.
Right. And all that goes to a collection pond.
That's right. This is not the kind of thing you want to swim in. What they wait for there is for the suspended particles to kind of settle on the bottom.
Right.
And then they will test the water for those the garbage juice. And depending on how nasty it is and riddled with chemicals, they'll go from there. They may treat it like regular wastewater.
Well, that depends. Like if just the storm water shows some leachate, they'll send it to a leachate collection pond.
Yeah.
If it turns out to just be normal storm water,
sure.
then they'll let it flow out of there.
That's
and
right.
into like whatever river or whatever.
Yeah, and sometimes it's gravity, or sometimes they use a pump.
Right.
Depends on the lay of the land.
But if it's leachate, they have a separate collection system for leachate.
Yes.
Which is basically perforated pipes that are running through the cells.
Yeah, and the leachate's going to happen. Like, they try and prevent it as much as possible, but there is no hole in the ground where you're not going to have any garbage juice.
Right, exactly. So they collect that garbage juice as it's forming, and they run it out to a separate collection pond. That's the leachate collection pond. And if you don't want to swim in the stormwater collection pond,
really don't want to swim
you don't
there.
even want to look at the leachate collection pond.
No.
So again, they let the particles settle. They test the concentration of the leachate in the pond, and then they send it either to an on-site water remediation system, like a wastewater plant.
Yeah.
Or else they send it to like the local city or county wastewater plant for treatment.
Yeah, boy, we got to do one on wastewater treatment at some point.
You got it.
Talk about fascinating.
Yes.
You poop in the water, and eventually you drink that
it.
water. It's pretty remarkable what we've learned to do, you know?
Yep.
So the other big thing that we mentioned earlier was methane, and that is a byproduct. That's a gaseous byproduct of anaerobic decomposition, and about 50% of your gases coming out of this thing are going to be methane, about 50% carbon dioxide, and they say a little bit of nitrogen, a little bit of oxygen. I guess not even enough to be a percentage point.
Almost negligible.
So methane is can be dangerous and hazardous, but it can also be very useful. So these days they're finding ways to harness this methane and use it as fuel.
Right.
Which is pretty great.
Yeah, it is very great. And actually, there's a lot of money in it they're finding, too.
Sure.
Especially if you go to the trouble of building an on-site power plant.
Yeah.
Where you just basically extract the methane from the landfill gas, LFG is what it's called, and then you burn the methane. You can create electricity, right? You can power a turbine, and boom, there's electricity being produced. And actually, at Fresh Kills, New York City gets $10 million a year from a company that has exclusive rights to extract the methane from this place.
That's pretty great.
$10 million. That's not
nothing
to sneeze at. And Lincoln, Nebraska did a pilot study in 2010 and found that they could make about $300,000 a year from methane collection from their landfill.
That's awesome.
So if you're a city that's trying to like figure out ways to at least keep your landfill open, methane collection.
I call my worst days LFG, actually, when I have landfill gas. It's the worst.
My worst days.
So then you've got your covering and your cap is the final piece of the puzzle here.
Right.
And it depends on what kind of a landfill it is. Generally, it's going to be covered with 6 inches at least of compacted soil, and that's to keep, rats and stuff out, the ones that aren't killed, and getting back into the trash. But like we said earlier, airspace is key, so next 6 inches, if they could find a way to make that 1 inch, that would be much better. And so they've been experimenting with that too, like paper or cement emulsions instead that you just spray on top instead of that 6 inches of soil.
Yeah, it's like a quarter inch.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you have 5 3/4 extra inches for trash.
Extra inches for more trash.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah, sure it is.
When
it adds up.
Speaking about this?
Yeah.
Which we are right now.
Absolutely. And then eventually, though, when it will have a permanent cap, some sort of polyethylene cap.
Right.
On top.
And so even after it's closed, that Puentes Hills, landfill outside of LA, that was the focus of the Atlantic article, or Fresh Kills out in New York.
Mm-hmm.
When it's closed, you don't just walk away from a landfill.
No, you plant stuff on it.
Well, yes, you have to plant stuff on it, because when you cover it over with dirt, you want to plant something with a low root system that won't go into the landfill, but will still hold the dirt in place to prevent it from eroding. So like grass, kudzu.
Kudzu's great.
Not trees.
No.
Don't want to plant trees. But you also have to stick around and leave some people behind to monitor the groundwater for temperature changes.
Yeah.
Change in temperature suggests that it's there's leachate that's intruded.
Yeah, sometimes you can see the leachate seeping up through the ground.
Yeah, it's gross.
And that means that there's you need to address an issue.
It looks like the Beverly Hillbillies thing where Jed shot and missed that rabbit.
Yeah.
And instead oil comes up. Uh-huh. That's what leachate kind of looks like.
Yeah. Bubbles up.
But you have to keep an eye on this place for decades and decades and decades.
Yeah, I think they said in here like 30 years It needs to be maintained and monitored.
Yeah, at least.
At least.
I think that's definitely in the low end. So we'll talk a little more about operating a landfill and how to, well, I guess alternatives to landfills is a way to put it.
Yeah.
Right after this. We've all had the experience of calling a business and just wanting to talk to a real person. Not an automated voice pretending to be human, an actual person who can listen and understand and offer help.
That's exactly what you can do with Ruby. Ruby is the virtual receptionist company that takes care of your callers when you're unavailable in the middle of something or simply don't want to pick up.
That's right. They can answer, screen, transfer calls. They can take messages, collect payments, book appointments, and more, all while making the people you serve feel special.
And best of all, it can help you be more productive. For example, 9 out of 10 lawyers who use Ruby log more billable hours per day than the national average.
And other professionals like plumbers and technicians win more customers while being able to stay focused on the job. But whatever kind of small business you run, Ruby is built to save you time, earn you more customers or clients, and make meaningful connections with the people you serve.
It's available 24/7, 365 days a year, and 100% based in the U.S. See why more than 15,000 small businesses use Ruby. Visit ruby.com, or better yet, call them at 844-900-RUBY. Work can be a little weird. One minute you're in a meeting that could have been an email. The next you're trying to decode corporate jargon that somehow means nothing. And don't even get us started on the quick sync that turns into a 45-minute deep dive.
Yeah, well, the truth is figuring out your career isn't always straightforward. Whether you're trying to grow, pivot, or just stay relevant, it can feel like you're navigating it all on your own. Well, that's where LinkedIn comes in.
That's right. LinkedIn can help you grow your career, helping you confidently navigate your path with insights, ideas, and inspiration from your professional community. You can stay up to date with the latest trends in your field, connect with people who get it, and discover opportunities tailored to your goals, your experience, and what actually matters to you.
Whether you're looking for something new or just trying to grow where you are, LinkedIn gives you the tools and connections to move forward with confidence. Because LinkedIn is the network that works for you. Visit linkedin.com/knowstuff to learn more. So Chuck, let's say you are Tommy Landfill, and you want to fulfill your birthright and open your own landfill.
Tommy Landfill.
And you got everything all set. You got the municipal bonds, old man, what was it?
McTavish. McBain.
Something like that. McLean.
Yeah.
He's been shouted down. You got the place open. How are you going to operate it day to day?
Well, what you're going to do is it's going to be open to a couple of different things. It's going to be open to the municipality that collects the trash, of course.
Sure.
It's going to be open to demolition companies, construction companies.
Right.
And many of them, including the one I go to, is open to you and me.
Okay.
So let's say I'm doing work on my house, which I've done.
Yes.
And I end up with a bunch of junk in the back of my pickup truck.
I think it's called construction waste.
Yes, construction debris, which I try and reuse as much as I can, but you still end up with construction debris.
Didn't we do like a green renovation episode once?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And I will drive my truck out there to the landfill in DeKalb County.
Right.
And I will drive up onto a platform. It's the very first thing you do with it's a weigh station.
Does it make you go up on two wheels and then you drive through the landfill just on two wheels?
Yeah, it's a stunt.
Showing off?
It's a stunt car scene. And you drive up on the weigh station and they weigh your truck or your car or whatever full of trash. You go dump it. There's going to be various stations. There's like a recycling station. There's here's where yard waste goes.
Kissing booth.
There's a kissing booth. There's a dunk tank.
Right.
You know, the traditional
like
landfill items.
Like a Catholic school carnival.
At the one in DeKalb County, there's actually free mulch and compost if you want to pick up stuff,
nice.
Which is kind of neat. But then eventually you'll be directed to here is your dump. And I pull up my truck, I dump it in a big dumpster.
Okay.
Then that dumpster is then taken to the cell, I imagine. I don't follow the route, but That's what's supposed to happen.
Does it make that Bugs Bunny conveyor belt song?
Yeah, someone wrote in and had
a bunch
what that
of
song
did.
Was.
Powerhouse.
Yeah, Powerhouse.
If you look up Powerhouse.
Was that the one that you were thinking?
Yes, totally.
Okay.
I can't remember the composer's name, but it was a 20th century composer who.
I think it was Old Man.
It was something
McLean.
Something Quintet.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name, but anyway, look up the something Quintet Powerhouse.
Yeah.
And then I think it starts about almost a minute and a half in. You'll be like, yep, that's it.
Yep, that's totally it.
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah,
right?
absolutely. When I heard it, it was unmistakably Looney Tunes.
Yep.
So I dump all my garbage, and then I drive back out onto another platform, and then they reweigh my truck. They do the math.
And when they weigh it, they charge you a tipping fee.
Yeah.
Which is usually a per ton amount, right?
Yeah. And so, it's not that much money. Like I'll have a truck full of junk, go dump it, and then it's like $10 or $12.
Gotcha.
And of course it depends on how heavy the junk is.
Right.
But in my case it was always, light wood and stuff like that I couldn't reuse.
Yeah.
Nails.
So that's basically everything we just described as a dry tomb landfill, right?
That's right.
But as companies like Waste Management and local municipalities have figured out, like, hey, there's actually money in this rotting garbage. They've been looking into ways to get more methane out of it. And what they figured out is that you don't want a dry tomb. You want a kind of moist, a little wet tomb. 35% moisture.
Yeah, I was really surprised that this isn't how it's done by now. Because they said, what could take decades in a dry tomb to break down can take just a few years.
Yeah.
If you just add a little water.
Just a little bit of water. Like there's already about 10 to 15% moisture in a dry tomb. No matter how much you try to keep it out, there's going to be about 10 to 15%. They figured out that if you add another 20, 25% water, you're going to greatly increase anaerobic decomposition.
Yeah, and it can be leachate. It's not like it has to be spring water or anything
exactly.
like that.
It can be that storm water you're collecting. It can be leachate. It can be gas condensation from the gas that's coming off. And basically, what you're doing is you're speeding up that anaerobic decomposition that's already going on. So these things are breaking down that organic stuff, the banana peels and the grass clippings and all that stuff that's already in there. They're not breaking down the styrofoam, at least not very quickly. So that stuff's still going to be left behind. But that's kind of that bury and walk away mentality as well still.
Right.
But at least the density of your landfill is going to increase tremendously as all that other stuff decomposes, and you're going to have the added benefit of a lot more methane production.
Yeah, and a lot more methane in a lot shorter time span.
Right.
So what they've had to do, because this is basically accelerated production, is create collection systems that can handle, they can't just throw the old methane collection system in there that's used to collecting slowly but surely.
Right.
They have to do something, collect a lot in a little bit of time.
Yeah, because they used to collect the methane in that they would harvest it and then burn it, which sounds horrible because you're just releasing all that stuff into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But it's better than just venting it.
Sure.
Just venting methane. Methane's a much more potent greenhouse gas than even like CO2.
Yeah.
Like by far. So you don't want to just vent that stuff, so you'd burn it off. But even better is if you're going to burn it, at least use it to power stuff.
Yeah.
So by adding just a little bit of water, you can create you can accelerate the anaerobic decomposition. And since the anaerobic decomposition is what makes the landfill like a moving, living, evolving pile, once that's done in 10 years, you've got all the methane you're going to get from it. The thing's not going to settle anymore, and you can walk away without monitoring it for the next 50 years.
Yeah, so the bioreactor model seems like far and away the wave of the future, right?
For sure.
I guess it's just a matter of like building more of them.
Yes.
So we got a couple of more things here before we close.
For sure. This is very interesting
One
stuff.
neato thing that I didn't know. I think I knew about Giant Stadium, but
I didn't know that. I just heard Jimmy Hoffa was buried there.
Right. Well, he might have just been in the landfill.
Right, yeah.
Apparently some sports arenas like Comiskey in Chicago, Mile High Stadium in Denver, Giant Stadium in New Jersey, built on landfills because they're cheap.
Yep.
Cheap land.
Yes.
And some speculation that it might give athletes cancer.
Yeah, apparently there were a lot of Giants players, or several, that came down with cancer that one of the linebackers, Harry Carson, told the New York Times, it makes you wonder what's going on around here, referencing the fact that it was built on an old landfill.
Yeah.
And apparently there was a game at Comiskey Park in Chicago
crazy.
where there was I think a shortstop.
Yeah.
Ran into a piece of metal sticking up from the diamond and started kicking away at it and realized it was getting bigger and bigger. And the grounds crew came out and investigated.
And it was Jimmy Hoffa.
Right. It was a copper kettle.
Yeah.
From the landfill that had moved its way up.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. So they had to dig it up and then refill it.
Unbelievable. I'm sure that was a lovely break for the fans.
Yes, because
sit around for an hour.
baseball's so fast moving that they needed a breather.
I read an article on Slate called "Go West, Garbage Can!" ! And the main gist of it is, when are we going to run out of space?
That's a great question.
You can't keep burying trash, right? Apparently you can, because what they're doing now is there are fewer landfills than ever before. They're making these huge landfills.
Yeah, super gangs.
Yeah, in 1986 there were close to 7,700 dumps in the U.S. By 2009 there were just under 2,000, a 75% decline in less than 25 years. And so essentially what they're creating are these super landfills, which is kind of cool, fewer landfills, right? But what's the problem? Do you know?
Stinkier landfills? What?
The problem is you're now trucking garbage sometimes 500 miles away to dump in the landfill.
Gotcha.
Because your state may not even have one. So then they're looking at, how much CO2 is used to do that. Is it really greener to have fewer landfills and truck your garbage on a train or in a truck every day?
Right.
And they basically say they don't really know.
Go back to burning everything.
Yeah, which is more environmentally friendly. In different states, apparently there's a lot of money in it. Different states have way more room than others, and then some states don't even want that stuff. Of course, in the Northeast, like Massachusetts, they're like, we don't want landfills in our state.
Right.
And like Rhode Island, same way.
So they send it to Springfield.
They send it to Kentucky.
Well, no, remember the trash commissioner episode?
Yeah.
He accepted other states' waste?
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
Right.
Let me see. Arkansas has enough capacity for more than 600 years of trash without any more facilities being opened.
Well, there you go. We'll just send it all to Arkansas.
Whereas Rhode Island only has 12 years remaining. New York State only has 25 years of capacity left.
Send it to Arkansas.
So that's what they're doing. Kentucky is $29 per ton, making about $6 billion a year. Ohio, $21 billion a year of available landfill space.
It's because Ohio knows how to negotiate.
That's right. The Buckeye State.
That's right.
Don't tread on me. Wait, that's New Hampshire. Or is that
Vermont?
Vermont?
That was the Tea Party.
No, I think it's either New Hampshire or Vermont.
One of those.
Yeah.
No, New Hampshire's is live free or die.
Oh, right.
And they make their inmates make those license plates.
Yeah, no, Don't Tread on Me wasn't a state motto. I think that was just
a flag with the cut up snake.
Right.
That the Tea Party adopted, remember?
Did they adopt that?
Yeah. So, yeah, if you see a bumper sticker with one of those flags on it, they're not just like a history buff or anything.
Yeah, or if it says, who is John Galt?
Yeah.
That'll tell you something about the driver of that vehicle.
Was that a Tom Cruise movie?
No, John Galt was the main character in Atlas Shrugged.
Oh, yeah.
Ayn Rand.
I'm thinking of Jack Reacher. If you want to know more about landfills, you can type that word into the search bar at howstuffworks.com, and I said search bar, so it's time for listener mail.
I'm going to call this very sad email.
Oh, good.
But uplifting at the same time.
Oh, good.
Hey, guys, 2 weeks ago, my amazing and wonderful father-in-law, Walter, passed away. We had to drop everything, my husband and son and I, and fly from Florida to Germany, where he lived. He's been in my world for 24 of my 50 years, and I was so sad I felt like I was going to throw up all the time. When we arrived in Germany, walking through the front door of the family home, without him there was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. It was and is devastating. My husband and youngest son and I sat in a dark daze for days, mixed with crying and feeling lost. I always listen to podcasts while I run, though, which I do every day. And after 10 days of being there in Germany, I finally decided to queue up one of your podcasts while running. It was Blood Types. I laughed for the first time in 2 weeks. Out loud, guys. It was so nice to laugh again, and it really opened the door for me. I realized that we as a family are going through is so tough, but I also started to realize that if I could laugh, then I could heal. Yesterday, my husband and I, still in Germany, decided to go to walk to the nursing home where my aunt lives, which is 2.5 hours through the forest, up and down hills. I love this family, by the way.
Yes.
Walking to the nursing home like that. We, of course, brought our 13-year-old son, Oliver, who was moaning after about 20 minutes of walking. I handed him my phone, and he listened to 3 Stuff You Should Know podcasts along the way and is now hooked. He loves you guys. My husband and I had a badly needed, quiet, get in touch with nature walk as a result, and we didn't have to listen to our son moan at all. More long walks are in his future as long as I have you guys on my phone. And Oliver also asked me along the walk, wait a minute, Mom, these guys get paid to do this? And when I said yes, I saw a sparkle in his eye.
Nice. I love this email.
Boom. That is from Jennifer. And Jennifer, that is awesome. Those mean the most to us.
Yeah. I mean, that is a great, top-notch email.
Great email. And there was more to it even. I had to leave out some of it for length.
Jennifer, right?
Jennifer and Oliver, her son, and she doesn't even...
Anonymous husband.
Anonymous husband.
Unnamed husband.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Jennifer. We appreciate you letting us know that. That's again, great email. And if you out there want to let us know how we've helped you or hindered you or even woken you up from a deep sleep, if you're French, you can tweet to us at SYSK Podcast. You can join us on Facebook.com/Stuff You Should Know. You can send us an email to stuffpodcast@howstuffworks.com. And as always, join us at our home on the web, stuffyoushouldknow.com.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com.
Mom, can I have Lingo Kids? Dad, Lingo Kids, please!
When did we become the Lingo Kids house?
No idea. Last week it was dinosaurs. This week it's...
Lingo Kids!
Why Lingo Kids?
Because it's the best thing ever. We can play games with astronauts, wild animals, and superheroes.
With more than 4,000 interactive games, songs, and shows, Lingo Kids is the #1 entertainment platform for young kids.
So, no dinosaurs?
And dinosaurs. Lingo Kids!
Everything kids love. Download it for free.
Imagine never buying gas again. Well, you can with an electric vehicle. EVs are easy to charge as your phone and perfect for everyday life. You can drive daily with confidence everywhere you go. Most Americans drive just 40 miles a day, and most EVs are equipped with 200 to 400 miles of range. Plus, they've got fewer parts, they require fewer repairs, and they produce fewer headaches. And with all those pluses, it's no surprise that we're seeing more and more EVs on the road, which makes the planet happier and happier. The way forward is electric. You can learn more about EVs at electricforall.org.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.